right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
The heat is on, and that has us in a weather impact alert. 100 for the high today, and we'll add more humidity tomorrow. How long this dangerous heat lasts?
A school spending frenzy with higher-ups receiving six figures.
But when I look at some of these positions, it is sort of unusual.
Tonight, we're pouring through St. Louis public school records following the money. Scary moments after a car crashes into a restaurant, killing a regular lunchtime customer.
Worried about everyone's safety.
Tonight, the owners call for help from the community.
And we start with a weather impact alert. A hot night at the ballpark as extreme heat hits our area. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. While it was hot today, it could get even hotter tomorrow. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell, who is tracking these dangerous temperatures. Scott.
You know, we had lots of sunshine today around St. Louis. The sun setting over Forest Park this evening over at the Muni. Still hot and steamy there tonight. The actual high, 100 degrees. Our record for the day, 103. Tomorrow's record high, 102, and we're going to flirt with that tomorrow. Now through about Wednesday, especially during the afternoon hours, the heat index values will be in the triple digits. We could see as high as 110 tomorrow in some spots. So you'll need to make sure you're staying hydrated, taking breaks, and using that air conditioner, trying to spend some time in the AC as well. One of the problems, it's not cooling off at night. 88 in Forest Park, 89 in Creve Coeur, still 87 in Lake St. Louis. Even in Millstadt and over in Mascoutah and Edwardsville, temperatures are slow to drop this evening. Lambert still at 90 degrees right now. And you couple that with the humidity. Our dew points are around 70 now, but to our north, dew points are in the mid to upper 70s. That's the air that you can wear. That's what's coming our way tomorrow. And we'll look at the heat index values around the metro area tomorrow afternoon in that 105 to maybe 110 degree range. So 105 for the heat index around noon, 109 at 3 o'clock in St. Louis, and 106 tomorrow evening. It looks like this heat will linger into Wednesday. We'll talk about when it breaks and the rain chances it may bring before this week is over. That's in 12 minutes, Kelly.
All right, Scott. Tonight, a Florissant man is dead after a car crashed into the restaurant where he was eating lunch.
The Rice House on Lindbergh is closed until further notice due to severe damage to the restaurant. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski is live in Florissant tonight after talking with business owners. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, there's actually a memorial that's formed right here outside of the restaurant, and the window here of the Rice House has been boarded up as well. The man was actually sitting right next to the window when the SUV came crashing in. The owner says they're devastated.
We heard this explosion and we thought, you know, working next door to a restaurant, like, oh, something done happened. Let's get outside before it happened in here.
And when they walked outside, they saw this, an entire BMW SUV inside the Rice House restaurant. Mark Wallace owns the Blended Styles barbershop next door.
And then to walk over and see two women trying to get out, and then to see a man underneath pinned, barely breathing. The workers inside the Rice House were trying to talk to him, but they were still in shock, still trying to get their burns together.
Wallace says the ambulance took 10 to 15 minutes to get there. The 52-year-old man was rushed to the hospital where he later died. The driver and the passenger were not injured.
The ladies in the car, all she kept saying the driver was, I had the car in park, I had it in park, it took off on its own, it took off on its own.
Owner of the Rice House, Kenny Trong, says they've had this location for more than a decade and was stunned to see an SUV in his restaurant.
We're just like very shocked that this had happened, and was worried about everyone's safety, customers and or staff.
They had 11 staff members in the restaurant at the time, and 20 total employees will be without a job for a while.
We're going to be a little setback financially, and a little bit of a whole lot of effort to get this thing back going.
He was devastated as we broke the news to him about the loss of one of his regulars.
I'm hurt. I'm lost for words. Wow. Prayers to their family. I mean, my goodness.
Their other restaurant is about 2.5 miles down the road near the intersection of Lindbergh and Newhalls Ferry. The owner asks for the community's support at their other restaurant while they continue to rebuild here in Florissant. Reporting live in Florissant, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
Right now, police are searching for two men who robbed a man near the Muni in Forest Park. Investigators released these surveillance pictures of the suspects. The victim told police he was sitting on a bench around noon yesterday when two men came up behind him. One of the men pulled a gun, took his phone, wallet, and keys, also tried to steal his car. Both suspects ran away. The victim chased after them. The victim was not physically harmed. Former Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Shawn Grayson was back in court today. Grayson is charged with murder, accused of shooting and killing Sonia Massey inside her Springfield home last month. A judge ordered Grayson to continue to be held without bond. His attorneys are appealing the ruling. Both sides in the case are now requesting cameras to be allowed in the courtroom. Massey's family says they'll be in court every day of the trial.
Just hours ago, we learned organizers canceled the Q in the Lou BBQ Festival. Organizers tell 5 on Your Side they had a lack of corporate sponsorships, partially due to downtown safety concerns. The festival, which brings pit masters from across the country, was supposed to take place on the Gateway Arch grounds on September 7th and 8th. The mayor's office released a statement tonight saying hosting downtown events and bringing people together is the one thing we do best as a city.
Tonight, 5 on Your Side is taking a closer look at the top dollar salaries offered to district-level employees at St. Louis Public Schools. The superintendent, who is now on leave, brought in those staffers who she knew from her time in Washington State.
As Brent Solomon explained, school leaders are preparing for a work session tomorrow to discuss even more spending, Brent?
That's absolutely right. We've just learned leaders are considering bringing in a retired superintendent from Riverview Gardens to help out. Under that proposal, going before the school board tomorrow, Dr. Joy Lynn Pruitt-Adams will be paid $185 an hour as a consultant, working up to 5 hours a week. Perhaps adding to the one question so many have been asking of late, is the district spending too much money?
Superintendent Keisha Scarlett has been on leave for a month now, a year after beginning her new role with SLPS. Her salary, $268,000 a year. She brought on top-level staffers she knew from Washington State. Deputy Superintendent Millicent Borshade with a salary of $230,000. She's now serving as the interim superintendent. Chief of Schools Allison Dino making $200,000, and her husband Timothy Schultz, employed as a contract management officer, making $140,000 a year.
It's not uncommon when you hire a new superintendent for them to bring on leaders as part of a team that they've had a lot of experience with in the past.
We kept digging into other new contracts. A temporary chief financial officer with a rate of pay of $93 an hour. A senior project manager being paid $120,000 a year. And a chief of staff of operational excellence with a salary close to $186,000.
It is sort of unusual in that some of these job titles and responsibilities is typically not a position that would tag along with a superintendent.
As a state audit is underway into the district's spending, education professor John Scott Turner points out the power of decision-making does not lie with just one person.
The elected school board, it puts a lot of pressure on them to keep a tight tab on how money is being spent and what positions are being added. That gives those locally elected school boards a lot of power. And because of that, when challenges come up, it also means that those local school boards have to be held accountable for decisions that they've made during those times.
Now, the focus on finances comes as the district's budget went from a $17 million surplus to a projected deficit of $35 million. This as the district continues to battle how to get students to class 2 weeks into the start of the school year.
A new legal battle tonight between Missouri and Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers and Great Plains are suing Missouri for stopping state funding. The removal from the Missouri Medicaid program takes effect on Wednesday. Both affiliates say they will continue to accept patients across the state.
A controversial $75 million road project in Jefferson County has hit a dead end. The city announced it was scrapping plans to build a 2-mile Arnold Parkway Road just hours before a scheduled homeowners meeting to discuss buyouts. 5 on Your Side's Annie Kroll has reaction.
Walking around Christie Drive on a hot Monday night paralleled the last few weeks of heated conversations about the Arnold Parkway project and the construction of a 2-mile road to connect Highway 141, and Richardson Road. It called for a significant land buyout of a nearby shopping plaza and homes.
We were ready to go.
Some neighbors prepared to take the $177,000 offer to households with a premium up to $225,000.
Most of us are not saying no. We're just asking us to meet us in the middle. We already had the appraisal lined up. We were getting ready to do all of that.
Others refusing to move, period. Now a change of plans. The city of Arnold releasing a statement saying it's no longer pursuing the project.
The city telling us on Monday afternoon that they will finish buying any of those properties still under contract if the sellers are still interested.
Greg Noble has lived on Harry's Lane with his wife for 17 years, raising 3 children. They were ready to leave in the next few years, now dealing with the city's new decision.
It kind of sucks. We were ready to move, so we weren't going to fight. We were just ready to kind of get out, and now that they've backed off, it's not fun. We don't know what we're going to do.
And now you're abandoning everything.
Arnold native Emily Davis is a single mom who bought here in September of 2023. This pivot is more than just a big wrench.
It's going to lower our values now. It's going to lower our values. When they first bought that house next door to me in April, they hadn't cut the grass in almost a month and a half. We didn't know Arnold owned it at the time. So we reported it. Well, now we come to find out months later, we reported Arnold on their own house.
But Davis doesn't think it's over.
Now we're waiting on the next knock. I mean, that's the reality of this. This is just a speed bump. They're not done.
In Arnold, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
The city of Arnold told us there will be no further efforts to acquire any additional property. The group Citizens Against the Construction of Arnold Parkway released a statement saying their work isn't over yet.
Tonight, a St. Louis embroidery company is making hundreds of shirts to raise money for Officer Travis Brown. Brown is still in a coma after suffering a severe brain injury earlier this month while trying to arrest a protester outside the Ferguson Police Department. Mattingly's Embroidery is now selling dedicated T-shirts with the phrase TJ Strong on them. All the profits will go to Brown's 2 children. We do have a link to purchase a TJ Strong T-shirt in the As Seen on TV section of KSTK.com. The GoFundMe for Officer Brown has raised more than $150,000.
From city mayor to hometown hero.
Scariest feeling I ever felt in my life.
A Metro East leader's quick actions that saved a young girl's life. It's a helpful tool, but can artificial intelligence keep you safe?
The AI's answer was dangerous and inconsistent.
Tonight, we put AI's safety IQ to the test.
The weather impact alert for heat and humidity continues into Wednesday. We are tracking some big changes, though, coming our way in time for the Labor Day weekend.